Good evening and welcome to episode 2 of the 2018 Vegan Hour. I'm your host, Harry Bolman. That sounded like a real professional intro there, didn't it?
Your radio voice.
Yeah, my radio, that's it, yeah. And we're going to have a lot of fun tonight. I have Heather, who's come all the way from Byron Bay. She is the owner of the Beet fully vegan restaurant in Byron Bay. So we're going to be finding out all about the Beet tonight. Now, what I just want to say also that Vegan Frothers is my sponsor, as you can see in the background, and I don't give them enough credit. So I've got to give you guys credit because not only do you sponsor the Vegan Hour, but all the clothing that you sell, all the profit made is actually supporting animal sanctuaries, which is fantastic. So I should be saying that with a Vegan Frothers cap on. Anyway, it's Tuesday, January the 30th, and I can see lots of people coming online. Let's have a look and see how we look up here on the browser. See if we look semi-professional. Wait for it. Okay, yes, here we go. It's loading. Have a little bit of a slow internet tonight. Let's just check out some of the events coming up. And there's 4 events I want to mention before we start getting into finding out about Heather's vegan journey and about how the Beet restaurant came about, etc., etc. First off, well, let's start with the competition that actually starts, still low, I can't even see us, we're still low. Let's start with the competition that is actually starting this, well, it starts February the 1st, which is Thursday. Yeah, it starts Thursday. It's from my friends at the new Vegan Isle Eatery and Bar. Have you heard about that?
Yes, I have.
You heard about that? Yes.
You bet.
I
can't wait to go.
I love it. It's the way to do it, isn't it? There we go. We look semi-live. Sean Meyer says, I love your last name, Heather.
Oh, are we related, maybe? It's not, I don't see many Myers around.
Well, if you don't know him now, then I'd be worried. Now, so let's get back to the event. I've got to focus here. Hang on. But where are we? Okay, there we go. Right. So, Vegan Isle Eatery and Bar at Tweed City Shopping Centre is running a competition where you can win burgers, a year's supply of burgers. There, I'll get it right in a minute. You can win a year's supply of burgers. It starts this Thursday. The competition runs for a month. I will post the details of how you get into that competition. So I will post them later on the live stream. But if you want to check out the Vegan Isle Eatery and Bar page, and you can find out about that competition. Okay, Saturday. I have one of my Vegan Life meetups at the new Feed the Earthlings. And that's a big comment that's come in there from Kelly. Kelly from Sugarshine Farm has put a really nice big comment in there, which I'll just read out while it's there. Sugarshine Farm would like to thank Heather and all the staff at the Beet for their ongoing support of the rescued farm animals at Sugarshine. Also, that is awesome. Also, thanks for the awesome stuffed zucchinis you make. They are the bee's knees. I'm glad they're not made out of bee's knees.
Oh, thanks, Kelly. No, they're definitely not.
Actually, that is a really great comment, Kelly, and I want to talk to you. I want to talk to you tonight about what that ongoing support involves, okay? So we will get to that. We'll come back to that. And the Beet is watching you. That's a good comment too. What do you want for dinner, Vice? Brilliant. That is really brilliant. Let me try and get through all these events. I'm doing my best here. Okay, so this Saturday night, 6 p.m. at the Feed the Earthlings at Treetops. It's their second Gold Coast location. I was there last night. And their burgers, I love their burgers. Have you ever had a Feed the I can't get past their veggie burger. It is so good. So, yeah, it's a Vegan Life meet up there this Saturday. This Sunday is another first. There's all these firsts happening up on the Sunshine Coast. The first ever Sunshine Coast vegan markets.
Wow.
It's fantastic. It's from 12 noon at C Square at Nambour. So that's going to be, I think at this stage, monthly markets, but that is just awesome. So they've got vegan markets happening. You've got the Brisbane vegan markets. We've got vegan markets here on the Gold Coast. It's just Have you got vegan markets down?
Yeah, we do.
Yeah, you
the
do?
Eco Market.
The eco markets,
Yeah.
excellent. Run by I've forgotten the name. I'm having trouble with names tonight. So okay. So what haven't I met? And okay, and there's one other event I want to mention, and that's your event. We're actually going to get just briefly mention that now. There's an event coming up this Tuesday week, next
6th
week,
of February.
6th of February. 5 Ways to Optimise Health, I believe it's called, by Adam Guthrie, who's going to be presenting it.
Yes.
That is at 5:30?
Yes, the talk is from 5:30 till 6:30 with Adam from I Feel Good Lifestyle.
Feel good.
And Adam has an amazing story, and he's going to be sharing that and a few ways to optimise your life at the beach.
So if people are interested in going along, what do they do? How do they?
You can go to our Instagram page and click on the link in the bio, and that'll take you where you need to go to book a ticket.
Excellent.
And the details are on our Facebook page too.
And then what you want to do is stay afterwards and have an amazing meal at the Beet, which I highly recommend. I don't get down to Byron often, but I've been there a couple of times to Heather's restaurant, and I highly recommend it. So, okay, so let's, rather than start off by finding out how the Beet came about, I want to address what Kelly's started off with a comment there straight away, which is really great to have comments come in early. So with Kelly saying that that you support Sugarshine Farm Sanctuary. So what does that involve? What does it be?
We have a collection box at the front of our register. So a lot of money goes into that from customers. Some of our staff even put their tips in there as well. So that is great. It's a simple thing to do, but it just makes a difference to a farm sanctuary, doesn't it? You know, it's just those little bits coming in from different areas. Oh, it's amazing. It fills up really quickly.
Does it?
Yeah, it does. And people are really enthusiastic about supporting it. Our customers love it when they read the story, and the box has got
the story of Sugarshine?
It just tells you what they do, and the box has got a little cow inside it. And everybody loves. Actually, somebody asked me, a child asked me if they could have the cow the other day, and I was like, no.
Fair enough.
We need that.
Okay. Now, the Beet Vegan Restaurant, I believe you opened. When did you open?
December 2016.
December 2016, so just over a year ago.
Yes.
Okay. Now, have you been in vegan restaurants before? Well, you've eaten it.
Yeah. I spent a lot of time eating at them.
Don't we all?
But I was new to running one.
This is like you were. Can I say you were a virgin to this sort of doing this sort of thing?
Yeah, definitely. I had spent a lot of time in restaurants over my life, eating at them, dancing in them.
Dancing at them. Yes, actually, let's just segue a little bit. So you spent 10 years as a belly dancer.
Yes.
Yeah. And so did that help sort of when it comes to transitioning into a restaurant?
Well, it did, because I spent a lot of time in kitchens, in restaurants, watching what was going on while I was waiting to perform.
In the back of your mind, okay, so you were observing.
Yeah.
In the back of your mind, were you thinking, one day I wouldn't mind having my own place?
Yeah, well, look, it had always been a dream of mine to have a restaurant one day.
Okay.
I even remember when I was little, like always pretending I had a restaurant and things like that. So
okay, so this is
the dream had always been there.
Yeah.
And then when I started becoming interested in vegetarian and then later on vegan food, I started to think, I'd love to do that one day. I never thought it was going to happen.
and it has.
And it has. Yeah.
And in a wonderful place. What I like about where you're located at Byron is the fact that there's, for fully vegan restaurants, for people that like to eat and support fully vegan restaurants, there's the Beet, and then you've got Elixir Bar, and that's it. So it's like, okay, that makes the choice easy.
Actually, there is one more that just opened recently across the road from us. You probably remember Manor Haven.
Yes, I remember Manor Haven.
They used to be vegetarian.
That's right.
They're vegan now.
Really?
They've just reopened, and they're doing lunches.
if I remember correctly, is it still the 7-day Adventists?
Yes.
It is?
Yeah.
And they're doing vegan?
Yes.
How's that, folks? Even the 7-day Adventists are changing because I have friends, quite good friends at the 7-day Adventists, beautiful people, but they're vegetarian. Yeah, that's normally what their faith involves. So, and they've opened a vegan place.
Yes.
Wow.
Yeah, so they're across the road.
And they're doing lunches?
They're doing lunches.
Okay.
Yep.
Now, you guys are doing dinners?
Yes, we are.
Okay, so there's a sort of, I guess, a nice complementation there, isn't there?
Yeah, definitely.
You know, I had trouble with that word. And way too many syllables. But you know what I mean. Okay, so let's get back to the Beet. So the Beet opened just before Christmas, 2016.
Yes.
How was it for opening and like hitting the ground running sort of thing? How was that?
It's all a bit of a blur. It was just so full on, and I was actually pregnant at the time.
Oh, really?
As well, yeah.
Wow.
So,
Okay, that's a challenge.
It was.
That is a challenge. I want to share a little personal story because I went there not long after you opened, and I think it might have been maybe the week or two after you'd opened, and I just want to briefly say that I was super impressed to walk into a newly opened place that was not only neat, obviously well set out, the decor was great, the atmosphere just straight away struck me as being the way every vegan restaurant should be. But the thing that really got me was the girl that waited on us knew exactly what to ask, was very attentive, and I thought it's this level of attentiveness that you don't always get. You know, this like knowing, you know, what to ask your customers and you know, just checking up that things are good. And then of course the food came out and we were like, oh yes, and we ate as much as we possibly could, and yeah, absolutely loved it. And I just walked away thinking, this is a really fantastic place. So first impressions.
Oh wow!
First impressions just
really
blew me away.
Hear.
And so I believe you did a lot of planning.
It all came together very quickly, but we did do a lot of condensed planning.
Condensed planning.
And,
good terminology.
And a lot of it as well was how I think service should be, and how I like to be served
so
when I go out.
Let's talk about how you feel service should be.
Yeah, just friendly and intuitive. I think you can tell when somebody doesn't want to be interrupted, or you know, judging when people look like they're ready to order, or watching if people look like they want another drink.
And this is exactly what I experienced the first time I went in there. That you guys knew how to read that.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you're on the you're on the ball there.
And you know, the staff that we have are just naturally quite good at that as well. They understood what I meant, and they just intuitively got the intuitive service.
I love it. Christine says the most delicious food ever. Yes. Thank you, Heather, for supporting Sugar Shine.
Oh, thanks, Christine. Thanks for supporting us.
Yes, so you've got, in that time, so it's a bit over a year now, you've got your loyal regulars?
Yeah, we definitely do.
Yeah, if I lived closer, I'd probably be one of them.
Yeah, and it's really great. Like I was in the restaurant the other night, and I just realised as I was walking in that I knew everybody on most of the tables. Yes. So it was such a great feeling now that
it is, isn't it?
Yeah, and when our customers come in and they know each other, and I see people merging their tables together. And
I love it.
Yeah,
I love it. It is actually a beautiful thing in the vegan community that happens.
Yeah.
That it quite often, if I was to eat at a non-vegan restaurant, I wouldn't know anyone.
Yes.
You know, but because we're a beautiful community.
Yeah.
You know, and we go and say, hey mate, how are you? How are you? You know. It's awesome. Yeah. It becomes a social thing.
It does, and it makes me so happy to see that like community coming together, and like it's part of the reason why we wanted to do it, and it's what we wanted to create as well.
So you had a vision, didn't you?
Yes.
And the vision wasn't just about fantastic food.
No.
So let's talk a bit more about this vision. So it was community as well, bringing people together.
Yeah, definitely. And I find like you know, when like my partner, he's been vegan for 10 years and vegetarian for 10 years before that.
Okay, that's good.
And it wasn't until I started getting involved and you know, I started dabbling in vegetarian and then vegan, and you know, we didn't know anyone else who shared our values and lifestyle. We didn't have any friends. And
can I ask how long you've been vegan yourself?
Yeah, just over a year.
Congratulations.
Yeah, I was still transitioning
yes,
when the restaurant
wow.
opened.
Wow, but that was a good incentive to, with the restaurant opening,
yeah.
to go fully into...
Well, it was part of the reason why I created the Beet as well, because I just thought, like, when there's more vegan options, people don't need to decide whether or not they're going to have a vegan option. They just have it, and it makes it easy.
That's true, isn't it? Yeah, that's true. So do you think that applies also to, say, a regular restaurant that might have vegan options and that as well? It just makes it a little bit easier if you're wanting to do the right thing by the animals, if you've got vegan options in a regular restaurant as well? Yes,
definitely. But I also do think it depends. Like, I find a lot of time in regular restaurants, the vegan menu is 90% of the time, in my experience, it's just an afterthought.
Right. Yes. Okay.
And I know from my own experience, when I was transitioning and trying to be vegan, I'd go out with my friends and we'd go to, like, our favourite restaurant where I'm used to eating all my favourite dishes, and I'd be say, "Oh, what's the vegan option?" And I'd be like,
it was that bad.
They're like, "Oh, well, you can have the Caesar salad, but we'll take the chicken out, we'll take the dressing out, we'll take this out, we'll take that out." So I'm basically going to be left with a plate of lettuce.
Yeah, that's probably cross-contaminated.
Yeah, exactly. And and I found in my early days, when I was faced with situations like that, unlike people I know, like my partner and our chef, who would just rather starve. And
I hear highly of your chef too. I believe he's very good, but we'll get back to that.
You know, I would end up caving in and selecting the vegetarian option.
Right. Okay. Okay.
And
so this is interesting.
Yeah, and I feel like I know I'm not the only one out there.
Yeah. So
who's faced that situation.
So yeah, you've personally experienced that if in a situation where it can be a little bit challenging to find the food you want, that maybe if your determination is not quite there, you might fall back a bit.
Yeah, definitely.
That's not a judgment or anything by any way. That's just the experience that you've had.
Yeah. And it takes a long time to undo lifetimes of conditioning and habits and certain tastes and even certain experiences that we're accustomed to, like the experience you have when you go out with your friends and you enjoy your meal, you enjoy their company.
Yes.
And my vision with the Beet, or our vision, I should say, the whole team involved here, was to recreate that, but everything vegan. Because the other thing that I know vegans and it started bothering me when I was transitioning even more was the smell in regular restaurants.
Actually, good point.
You start to become so sensitive to the stench of meat, and it's horrendous.
How do you handle it now?
Oh, it's horrible.
It is, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's enough to...
It turns my stomach.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, definitely. A comment there from Shane from Vegan Frothers who says, the Beet equals 5-star people and food. Eating here when in Byron is a 100% must. Congratulations. Wow.
Oh, thanks,
well
Shane.
Said, Shane.
Yeah,
well
awesome.
said. But that's a really good... I want to just...
Thank you.
Yeah, thanks, Shane. He should be doing your PR. I want to just go back to that because we were talking about this before we went live about the difference between eating in a fully vegan restaurant, or the difference between supporting fully vegan or going to a place with vegan options and supporting them as well, so that they sort of maybe have more vegan options or something.
Yeah, or they encourage, like it encourages it.
It encourages it, doesn't it?
Yeah.
But the reality is you're sitting in a restaurant where you're still surrounded by the smell, the stench of death, basically. And
even having to look at it across the table if you're eating with somebody who's not eating vegan.
A few years ago, I had an experience like that in a cafe that was not even a vegetarian cafe. I met a few years back, met a friend there, and watched whilst the table next to me, 3 ladies ate. It was revolting what they ate. It was just death, just plates of death. And I just thought, why am I even here? You know, it was just convenient to catch up with this person at this location. You know, it was like, oh. So,
and then you've also got the risk of cross-contamination.
That's another issue,
and it can be, like, part of our vision at the Beet was to create a stress-free experience for vegans, because I know when I wasn't vegan, eating out with my partner, it was very stressful for him.
Well, yes.
Because he'd be anxious, like. And
how did you manage it? He was vegan for 9 more years than you were.
Yeah. I'm surprised he didn't leave me.
I'm impressed. And he's an ex-heavy metal band
guitar player.
Yeah. That's pretty. You guys rock, obviously.
Yeah, he's got so many stories of touring while starving.
Yeah.
Because there was nothing to eat.
No, because again, I have a couple of vegan musician friends that have told me what it's like. You go somewhere, you play, and they say, "Oh, you know, the bar is, you know, open to you or something," and they can't have anything.
Yeah.
So, yeah, they have a packet of peanuts or something.
Yeah, if you're lucky.
If you're lucky, yeah. So, was that challenging?
Yeah, it was. And for him, I could always see, like, it was uncomfortable because he had to ask the wait staff 100 questions. And a lot of the time, I'm sure other vegans have experienced, people can become visibly annoyed at you when you're asking questions. Like, does this, what's in it? Does it have fish sauce? Is it cooked on the same grill? And people can sort of get a bit narky at you or treat you with...
Are you saying that even the wait staff, or they can get narky?
Yeah, like in a non-vegan restaurant that, for example, let's say might not have a vegan option listed on the menu. So you need to ask for something, and then you're going through the whole, well, I did call before we came and I was told this. And you know, my partner, a lot of the time, he'd just suffer in silence, and he'd say, look, just don't worry about it. I don't want to make a big, make him feel awkward. I don't want to make a big production of it. And it would just end up a horrible experience. He wouldn't enjoy himself. I wouldn't enjoy it.
He'd starve.
And I wouldn't enjoy myself. And then the food would come out, and he'd be picking at it, and he'd be going, can you smell this? Does it smell like meat? And it was just...
Hence why I love supporting 100% fully vegan restaurants.
Yeah, and we wanted to create something where vegans felt comfortable, but where also they could bring their friends and family, and they would enjoy the experience as well.
And their friends and family didn't necessarily have to be vegan, is that what you're saying?
No, that they would eat vegan, but without having to complain about, I don't want to eat vegan. They'd be like, oh, well, we're going to the Beet and we love their food. It's good food that just happens to be vegan. And we get that a lot. Like, a lot of families come in and they say, this is great. We please everyone. The kids are vegetarian, or the daughters are vegan, the dad wants to eat a burger, and the mum wants a healthy salad.
So are you finding, so that's interesting. So you're getting families that are, some are still omnis, meat eaters, carnists, whatever we're calling them, and some are vegetarian and some are vegans. And so they'll come there because they can satisfy the vegan, and all the others aren't complaining that the food doesn't taste like what they're used to. And the biggest compliment we get is when people who are omnivores, they come up to us after eating the meal and they say, you know what, maybe I could be vegan. Brilliant. I love it. And that's our goal. That is fantastic. That is what you want to be. That's what you want to hear. And that's what started planting the seed for me to change. Like, my partner, who was vegetarian, and then I saw this advertisement for a vegan festival, and I didn't even know what vegan was. And I said to him, hey, like, why don't we go along to this together? So I encouraged him to go, because I was like, and he was still vegetarian at this point. And I was just interested to find out more about what's going on and what he's into. And so we went along to this vegan festival, and I started eating some of the food, and we found recommendations for different restaurants that we didn't know about. So we started eating out, and I was like, wow, like, maybe I could do this. And that's what, like, I thought I would never make the transition to being vegan. I just thought it was something I would never do. And why didn't you think you'd ever be able to do it? Hang on, let me ask that a different way. When you thought that, were you already vegetarian? No. Oh, okay. No.
I thought I would never want to, which sounds really terrible, but I want to be honest.
But why?
Here.
But yeah, no, please. That's the only way to be.
Yeah.
But, why didn't you think you never wanted to? Were you enjoying? Let me throw some questions at you. Were you enjoying the taste of cooked corpse?
I was immensely.
Right. That's being honest.
Yeah.
That's being honest.
Yeah.
What about from other aspects? What about from the animal rights or from health? Or that, have any of those come up for you?
Not as yet.
Right.
No.
Okay. Okay.
So and it was when I started exploring and educating myself. Then I started.
I just noticed a comment there that I haven't responded to. Sorry, that because the internet's so slow, it's taking a while for the comments to come through. But Walter says, we met you about 6 months ago when we came for a visit from Melbourne. Awesome food, great service, all that we need in paradise like Byron Bay. Again,
oh great!
You must have
Mm.
so many fantastic reviews like this on Facebook. People just complimenting the hell out of you because you really do deserve it. So.
Oh wow! No, it's it just blows me away that people love what we're doing and.
Do you feel like you're living your dream now?
Yeah,
your passion?
yeah.
Because as a young girl, you wanted to do this.
To have a restaurant, and it was funny because when I first my partner Aaron, his family live here in Byron, so we started coming up here for holidays and.
Oh, where were you living? You're down further
Yeah,
south.
we're from Sydney.
I'm sorry to hear that. So am I. All good people come from Sydney.
Yeah,
they do.
And it wasn't until we were packing up to move to Byron Bay and I was going through some things, I found a book that I had written, my vision for a vegan restaurant in Byron Bay, and I had written it like when Aaron and I first met and we started spending time together in Byron with his family, and I was frustrated because there was nowhere to eat or there was nowhere for him to eat,
even though you weren't even vegetarian at that stage.
No, but I enjoyed eating vegetarian restaurants. I enjoyed eating vegan food, and when I meeting Aaron really sparked a passion for vegan cooking and vegetarian cooking for me. So that's how it all started.
Wow.
It just took me a really long time to get over the line.
Yeah, well, you had 10 years of belly dancing to do.
Yeah.
And Aaron had to keep playing that guitar. So does he help out in the restaurant? He does.
Yeah, yes, he's there now.
He's there now.
Yes, I'm watching.
You poor thing. I hope you guys got a big TV in there so all the customers can watch us as well. That would be really cool. Or just move the phone around or something. So,
they're probably all there watching now. So.
Should have had it.
So he's either here or I are there at the restaurant.
Okay, yes. And you're open 6 days a week?
Yes.
Yes. Your Sundays you're closed?
Yes, and we're about to start closing again on Mondays as well.
Okay, so it'll be 5 days a week?
Yes, 5 days.
You mean you get time off?
Yeah.
Wow. And what hours do you open for dinner?
We're from 5:30.
5:30, yeah.
Yeah, and kitchen, it depends on how busy we are.
Yep.
But rough ballpark, we usually shut down about 9 o'clock.
Yeah, that would be normal for,
That's when it starts to taper off.
Yeah. Unless Harry's there with all his friends and then it goes all night. As if. So I'll just step back. I was asking you there before I read Walter's comment about how you were at one point in your life there, you were still, even though you liked the idea of eating vegan and vegetarian food, you were still, can I say, addicted to the taste?
Yes, definitely.
So did you find, so what pushed you over the line then to go from that sort of like craving for the cooked corpse, from that to vegetarian and then to vegan? So what pushed you over the line to go vegetarian?
I started educating myself. Actually, Aaron started playing YouTube clips at home on TV all the time.
Brilliant.
And he just always had them on, and we're quite obsessed with food. So he was playing a lot of YouTube clips.
So we're talking 10 years ago, right? YouTube clips?
No, he just started playing the YouTube clips like a couple of years ago.
Okay, a couple of years ago. But you were already vegetarian at that stage?
No.
Oh, no, sorry. No, he was.
Yeah,
sorry.
he was. And I sort of flipped back and forward over the years.
Any favourites? Any that he played regularly, like as in, Gary Yourofsky?
Yeah, The Speech, Gary Yourofsky.
The Speech. Maybe some of James Aspey's stuff, maybe.
Yes, and mainly Gary Yourofsky. We're watching a lot of him. Bonnie Rebecca.
Oh, Bonnie Rebecca, yes.
And I actually saw her speak at the Sydney Vegan Festival.
Yes, okay.
And I also saw Isa Chandra Moskowitz.
Congratulations on pronouncing that name.
I've got a cookbook, so
that's no chance.
She's one of my idols in the vegan cooking world. So seeing her and just starting to go to all these festivals, watching people talk, and then experimenting with food at home. And then when my son was born, Aaron said to me once, he said, "Oh, what are you going to say when he grows up? Why doesn't Dad eat meat, but you do?" Yes. How are you going to explain that to him? And around that time, we were at the Cruelty Free Festival in Sydney. Yeah. And I found a book called, I can't remember what it's called, but it's Jonathan Safran Foer. It's called Eating Animals or Eating Meat or something like that.
Yeah, I can't think of the name. But
And the whole reason he wrote the book is because he spent a large part of his life being vegetarian, not vegetarian, vegan, not basically doing what I was doing. Right. And he had a child and he pondered that question himself, which led to him researching, doing a massive amount of research, trying to come up with an answer, what he would explain to his child. And reading that book, I just realised that what I would have told my child had I answered that question honestly, it was just so lame. Selfish.
Exactly.
Oh, because I like it.
Because I like it.
Yeah, I know.
That's it.
I know it's wrong and it's bad and it's cruel, but I'm choosing to ignore that because I like it.
And really, it is.
And that's what I was
totally
doing.
Selfish, isn't it?
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
It is. So I read that book, and around the same time, and from the same festival, I got connected with a vegan naturopath named Robin Shooter.
Oh, okay. All these people that I've never heard of. Fantastic.
Robin's amazing. I was a client of hers for about 6 months.
Where is she based?
She's based in Sydney.
In Sydney, okay.
Yeah, but she does a lot of online consultations, and we just had her give a talk at the Beet recently as well, because she was up here visiting.
Excellent. Wow.
And learning from her all about the nutrition side of it, and then coming into addiction.
Oh, good.
With it, how we actually, without knowing it, we're addicted to these foods. Yes. And part of what I saw Robin for as well was I was having trouble quitting smoking. Right. Okay. Yes. And so she helped me do that through a whole food plant-based diet.
Interesting. Interesting way of quitting smoking. Wow.
Yeah, because when and also learning about a technique called EFT. Yes.
Tapping. Yeah. I can't remember what the EFT stands for.
No, neither can I.
Somebody help us out.
Emotional freedom therapy technique or something.
Yeah. It's been so many years since I first started doing it. I haven't actually done it for years. I dropped off, but I used to do it daily.
EFT, it's fantastic.
Tapping the different, if I can remember the different points, And
what I learnt from Robin is when you start fueling your body with the proper nutrition and adequate nutrients that you get in a whole food plant-based diet, it takes away a lot of the desires that we have for things that we're addicted to.
It would do too. Yeah. Yes, that makes a lot of sense. That's a really interesting way, a very good holistic way of getting people to stop smoking, improving their health at the same time and helping the animals and the environment.
Yeah.
Oh, I love it.
Exactly. Because you don't think about it, like if you might have a glass of wine or a coffee and a cigarette, it kind of works together, but you're not going to have a green juice and a kale salad
and a cigarette.
You like having a smoke after it.
Good point, because there's another tie-in with that usually people, when they go out drinking, that's when they will also smoke.
Yes.
That's when they'll also go and eat some absolute rubbish food. It's like it all ties in. So if you work on putting the good nutrients in, that changes that desire for the smoking.
Yeah, and same with the desire the addiction. For, because cheese is highly addictive.
Because of the casein,
and there's things in meat that if you start research, Robin's website empowertotalhealth.com.au.
Oh, I'm going to put that up there. I can type that in, actually.
It's such an amazing resource.
Empower?
Empower, EMPOWER.
Yeah, .com.au.
Oh, no, sorry, Empower Total Health, all one word.
Empower Total Health.com.au. Yep, and we'll see if that comes up.
And she's got highly researched articles.
There we go.
On all.
So this is from Robin Tudor.
Yes.
So for those watching on the live stream, you will have got this link. For people that are watching this later on YouTube, what I put is a link to Empower Total Health by Robin Tudor, who's a vegan naturopath based in Sydney.
Yes.
So this is really good. I've got to check this out.
And I found like the EFT even helped me with stopping eating animal products as well.
Yes.
Because it's like.
How long ago did you discover? Sorry, how long ago did you discover EFT?
3 years ago.
3 years ago. Okay, because it's known by a lot of different names, and EFT is one of the original names, one that it was known by, and it's been remarketed by different people under different, TFT and I can't think. A whole heap of different acronyms. But when you said EFT, I thought, wow, that's going back to its origins. I think the early origins of it was called EFT. So so that's interesting.
So it was a whole like process of breaking habits and making new ones and understanding why I was driven to do certain things and educating myself. Like listening to Gary Yourofsky and
Gary's amazing.
Reading books and going to vegan events and visiting vegan restaurants and.
So did you reach a point where you went, right, that's it, no more, I'm vegan now?
Unfortunately, no.
No.
There might have been a couple of little hiccups. I know. You can't say that you're mostly vegan. You're plant-based until it's an oxymoron.
That's right. Yes.
So I've learned that you can't say that. But I was plant-based, and then what kept happening is, it was a cheese on pizza that was undoing me every time.
Right. Okay.
And it wasn't
those casomorphines, or however you pronounce it.
And I just couldn't get into the pizza without the cheese on it. But I actually love it now. But it wasn't until.
What do you think I've been eating for years? Pizza without cheese.
Yeah, exactly. And it wasn't until I had an incident where I ordered some vegan pizzas and I forgot to uncheck the cheese box at Domino's.
Oh, right, yes.
Because everyone who's vegan who's ordered Domino's online, you got to uncheck that box. Anyway, I forgot to uncheck it. It was after a really long day, and the pizzas. I got them and they had cheese on them.
They had regular dairy cheese on them, right?
And Aaron and his dad, who's also vegan, they were like, they're not going to eat it.
Yeah.
And I was like, for Christ's sake, can't you just pull it off? And they were like, no. And it like turned into this big ordeal that ended up with nobody eating anything and having a really bad argument. And it wasn't until I was in the restaurant the next day and I was telling our chef and a couple of other staff, because at that stage I would get to the point like for me at that point I would have just eaten it.
Right. Okay.
Convenience.
Yes. Convenience. Interesting.
And I was having that talk. I was telling staff, this happened last night, and what would you have done in that situation? And just hearing them explain it to me. Yeah. That's what got me over the line.
Excellent.
It was my staff. It was.
So can you remember what they said that made the difference? Was it on behalf of the animals?
Yeah, they were just saying you have to keep reminding yourself everything that's behind that. And just saying, I'll have it occasionally. You just don't do it.
That's right.
You just don't.
You make that stand. Once you make the ethical decision, the rest is easy. Well, I believe that's how it works.
Yeah, and that was and after hearing Sebastian, our chef, and it was Ruby who was working with us at the time. I clearly remember it, and just hearing them say well, no, you just don't. And then I was like, because I'd argued it so much with my family, we had this big blow up about it, and I was like, yes, they're right. And after that, I never had cheese on a pizza ever again, unless it was vegan cheese.
I'm pleased to say that Adam is watching and says hello.
Hey, Adam.
Thank you for watching, Adam. And I believe you've got an event on
Yes, next Tuesday that we're really excited about.
5:30 p.m.
Yes.
And I met you a couple of years ago, I think it was, with Rue up here at one of the Vegan Life events. And Walter says, Gary is the guy that woke me up, forever thankful to him. Yes. So the wonderful thing, just talking about, making that ethical decision and having people that are very strongly sort of rooted in that and just saying, no, you don't go back on it, and that's what they said to you, which is fantastic. The other thing that's really fantastic is that, we're in 2018 now, and there is just so much ability to stand by that ethical thing.
Of course,
I mean, even airlines now have vegan menus. I think is it Jetstar or one of them that put one late December. They announced they have a vegan menu now. There's just so many options everywhere you think of. You go, wow, okay, the market is open to this and it's open to that. And, Domino's was another example, wasn't it?
Yes.
Domino's is like so many people going along and flooding their social media with, and they're sold out of there. And I had it once and it's fantastic. It was really good pizza.
Was it? Well, I'll tell you an ironic story after all that.
But I am aware of the fact that I would still personally rather support, say, Feed the Earthlings around the corner now, because they've opened around the corner. I'd rather, and their pizzas are fantastic. And of course, there's no cross-contamination on the rest.
Of course.
And this is nothing against Domino's. And it's just, anyway, I won't get on the rant. Please tell me.
But I was going to say, after all that cheese story, then Domino's had the pizzas with cheese now, and I just ordered pizza from there recently, and I got it with no cheese. Even though I could have had vegan cheese, and I was like, wow, you really, after all that.
This was once at the Christmas staff party at my work. We always get pizzas, and they always say to me, okay, well, what are we going to get? Because we need to get something that's suitable for you, and because I'm one of the only vegans there, sadly. And so it's like, okay, well, and I always research and say, well, you can get from here because their bases are vegan, and, we'll just get some vegetarian ones, and, I'll have one without cheese. So I'm used to it without cheese as well. But the go-to making a pizza at home, I found, was hummus.
Oh, wow.
Like long before vegan cheeses became popular. I mean, it's only in the last few years, really, that they've started to sort of be seen on shelves and that a lot. Previously, vegan cheese used to be rubbish.
Yeah, and the products actually have improved so much in a short time.
I mean, it tasted like plastic.
Yeah.
Once in a while, I would try something and I'd just go, no. I just can't eat this. It's terrible. It's so far removed from what it used to be. But I used to be able to get hummus and just put hummus on top. So it's like, okay, it's not the same, but I loved it, and that's all that matters.
Yeah, exactly.
That was my go-to, and then I discovered that I could just as easily throw some cashews in a blender with a bit of water, a little bit of lemon juice,
cashew cheese,
and a bit of turmeric. Just blend that up and put that on top instead, So that's, but all of that's too much hard work. I just go to Feed the Earthlings down the road. I think another comment might have come in there. I just want to see what it is, and I want to ask you about your menu in a minute. Adam says, Adam's replied and said, hi, Harry. Yes, I remember that meetup. I look forward to catch up with you again sometime soon. And Rue says hello. Geez, Adam, your memory is as good as mine. I can even remember what park it was in. So, and what month and what year. It was 2015. It was about May, roughly. How good's my memory? Anyway, so for those of us that haven't been to the Beet, tell us about your menu. Tell us about the great yummy, I haven't had dinner yet. Great yummy delight. So let's get this stomach gurgling.
We tried to structure our menu so that we could have something that would appeal to people who aren't vegan.
Yes.
Something healthy. Some items that are healthy, some items that are like more indulgent and comforting as well.
I like that one. So appealing to non-vegans, that would be the burger you mentioned earlier?
Yes.
That's always,
and we've got a pizza now as well.
Excellent.
Yeah, and that's really popular. When we don't have it on the menu now, but we used to have. Oh, sorry, we used to have a Satan dish.
Oh yes.
That was done like a steak dinner. So that was really popular with adventurous non-vegans. But now we have a vegan Philly cheesesteak sub.
Yes.
That we do with Satan, because I'm a little bit obsessed with Satan, and I would have been really sad to have completely taken it off the menu.
Are you what we could term a Satan worshipper?
Yeah, I totally am.
It's the worst joke of the century. Oh boy, I had to go there. I'm sorry to everyone for that one.
Yeah, so that's really popular. That's really popular with our vegan customers and our non-vegan customers.
Is it? Yeah. I know it is, because I ate there with some friends just before Christmas this year, just gone, and some of them had that and were raving about it. Yes.
Yeah.
I can't remember what I ordered. Adam says hi, Heather, as well.
Oh, you had that. I know what you had.
Oh, you know
I wasn't even there. That's because I've got a photo of you on Facebook, which I'm going to use for your vegan story.
Oh, good. That's right, because I'm going to be in your page.
You had the fettuccine boscaiola.
That's true. I meant to. Wow.
In the picture.
Actually, if I ever forget what I've eaten anywhere, I just have to look at my own Facebook page, because the photos of everything I eat are on there.
Yeah, but that's how I knew what you had.
It was good too. Yeah. Wow.
Yeah, and for me, I missed creamy pastas.
Yes.
The inspiration for the menu was a lot of the things that I was missing from my non-vegan days, and not wanting to have things that I was sick of. Like, I really didn't want like pasta with red sauce.
Yep.
I wanted a creamy sauce, or I wanted a pesto, because you think, oh, pesto, it's vegetarian, and then it might be vegan, and then you realise, no, it's got parmesan, and you really don't need to put that ingredients in a pesto to have a great pesto. No,
and it's a dish that has only just become sort of, I think, popular in vegan restaurants in the last couple of years, and it's a welcome dish, because usually prior to that it was like as you say, like a spaghetti with a red sauce sort of thing, and that was it. So to get a creamy version of it has, I think maybe I first noticed it appearing at Greenhouse. I think maybe a couple of years ago, where they started doing it, and I was like, oh, this is good. So
Yeah, so we had those things. We've got a burger, and the patty on the burger is quite meaty. It's got a soy protein and quinoa in it, and we've had some really great compliments off meat eaters who have said it's one of the best burgers they've ever had.
That is fantastic.
That is a big call coming from someone who eats meat.
And yes. And to the point where you've had people say, well, we could go vegan because of that.
We had a great story just recently. Our very first customers that came into the Beet, they came back about 6 or 7 months later, and they said that they were vegan now. And
wow, that's great.
They've been dabbling, and they were saying visiting the Beet was made them decide.
I love this.
They just had to get more creative with their cooking at home, and it was definitely possible. And
I love it. See the influence you're having. See the influence, these subtle little influences that we can have on people without even knowing. You know? And then we get this feedback later, and you just go, wow. So what I did actually had an effect in your life. And this is what you're doing. You've got this wonderful service.
It's amazing. You just think, oh, wow.
It's like what you are doing, it just occurred to me, it's like a form of activism.
Yeah. Well, activism through food almost.
Activism through... Adam says, I love that the Beet has a few whole food plant-based meals too. Super good food. And this is what you're saying. You're got the different categories that you're catering to.
Yeah, and some people have told me, oh, look, if you try to cater, please everyone, you end up pleasing no one.
Yeah.
And, we've had people say, oh, you need to pick one thing and run with it. But for me, I found, if I find a restaurant I like, or sometimes if I'm watching what I eat, I want to have something light. Sometimes if I'm feeling indulgent, I want to have pasta. And I think, sometimes when I go out with my girlfriend, I want to have a big bowl of pasta and a garlic bread, and she's just come off a cleanse. She wants a nourish bowl.
Yes.
And I think you find that a lot with, especially when you're dining out in groups and with friends. People have got different things that they feel like.
So are you saying if you get a restaurant that you like to be able to go there, and depending on how you are feeling at that time, it might be a plant-based, you know, a really healthy meal, or it might be a burger or a pizza or something.
And I find, like, especially in a lot of towns, there's usually only 1 or 2 vegan places. There's not, you know, you don't have your vegan salad bar and your vegan pizza shop and your vegan Chinese.
Unless you're on the Gold Coast.
Yeah, of course.
So where it's hard to keep up with the amount of vegan places that have opened on the coast. It's just, I think
fantastic.
we're up to 19 or 20 now.
Wow.
I've got to update my guide, actually. I've got to add the 2 new ones in that have opened in the last week, which is Vegan Isle at Tweed City and Feed the Earthlings last Saturday at Treetops. But it was at 17 before, so yeah, it should be at 19 now. So, and I'm sure there'll be another one opening again soon, probably.
And that's what we do on our days off.
What, you go and visit the other one?
Yeah.
Of course you do. What I love.
We go up to the coast and eat.
Of course. Why wouldn't you? This is what the owners and staff of a lot of the other vegan restaurants have told me the same thing.
Yeah.
They'll say, oh, we love such and such a place, which I would have thought was their competition. We go, no, we love it. We go there anytime we're not at our work, we will go there.
Yeah, you know? At one point when we were closing on Mondays, we were debating whether or not we should change our day off because Greenhouse and Easy House were both shut on Monday. We were like, oh, we've got to change the day we close.
So you like Easy House as well with the vegan yum cha?
I love Easy House. Yes, because like where I grew up, like growing up with like the old school Aussie Chinese kind of shops with the lemon chicken and the beef and black. Like I grew up with that. And every weekend my family was having takeout from the Chinese, and Easy House just nail it vegan. Even my mum, who's not vegan, like fully approved.
I've heard that quite a lot of non-vegans go there and love the food. Yeah. And again, that's probably another place that's helped convert or educate non-vegans to how good vegan food can be. So yeah, what you are doing is activism. Direct to the stomach activism.
Definitely.
It's another way of doing it, and why not? If it works, why not?
And think about it too. Like you know, our activists that are doing the work out on the street, and the other forms of activism that are going on, like all the people that they're educating and inspiring, they need to have somewhere to go to eat.
Of course.
And that all helps them to make the transition.
That's true, because when you're out talking to people and you're creating awareness and trying to sort of prove that it's easy to be vegan, and you can say, see that place over there? That's fully vegan. You can go over there now and get an amazing meal or something. People are like, really? You know. In fact, to the point where some of the activism events on the coast here, they've actually offered people Feed the Earthlings burgers, little bits of Feed the Earthlings burgers, and said, here, try this burger. And people go, you know what? That's cruelty free. That's a plant-based burger. And they're like, really?
Wow. Yeah, and especially even now, like we have a few whole food plant-based items. A lot of people who aren't vegan or vegetarian, but they're more health conscious. Visiting a vegan restaurant is a good option for them to get like a nutritionally balanced meal.
Yes, of course.
So we get a lot of people that aren't vegan yet. But they're coming into our restaurant because they want to eat healthy and they want to make changes in their life and their diet, and they're looking to vegan places for that. Talking about your food, I believe you have a world-class vegan chef. Yes, we do.
And this is the reason why, or one of the reasons why, your food is so amazing.
Yeah, so we were really lucky when we were looking for a chef to find our head chef, Sebastian. I don't know if he's watching this.
No, because he's too busy working.
Yes,
if you're watching this, get back to work.
And he has over 20 years experience as a chef in fine dining in Sydney and also in Europe. And he became vegan and then didn't want to continue working in that environment and handling animal products, and the timing was just great.
Yeah.
And we found we were a good match, and he relocated to come on board and help us get this this project off the ground.
This project. Now, so another thing I want to ask you, we've got about 5 minutes before we wind up. Another thing I want to ask you also is that you've also experienced that some people don't, having the word vegan in a restaurant doesn't always resonate with some people, that they actually have a little bit of a difficulty with it.
Yeah, they won't even look at our menu, be open to looking at our menu. They'll just see the word vegan.
They're so conditioned.
Yeah.
That they won't even open up to the possibility of it.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, it's vegan, oh, we don't go there.
Yeah, and I just didn't realise that, because even though it took me so long to actually transition, but I'd always been so open to eating vegan foods, and that word didn't scare me.
Yes, and so for you it wasn't a problem.
No, that I just forgot how conditioned people can be, and how confronting that word can be for a lot of people.
It's a scary and disappointing and sad, isn't it? All of those things when you see it.
Yeah, because unfortunately for a lot of people, the word vegan evokes imagery of like militant vegans and animal cruelty and sacrifice and going without. For the person.
Yes.
Like that is, it's all this pressure, like, vegan. That means I have to really look at what's going on in the world and acknowledging it. I don't want to have to do that.
Wow, they've got to open their eyes.
I like being ignorant, and also like I don't want to give up the things that I eat and have to just eat salad all the time, and and I don't want
a lot of misinformation, misunderstanding.
Yeah, totally. Yes. And that word just.
So how do you think best that we counter that? I mean, we've talked about documentaries are a good way of sort of re-educating, aren't they? And maybe street activism as well.
Yes, definitely.
Yeah. And the type of activism you're doing with the beet.
Yes, good food that just happens to be vegan.
Yeah, I mean, that's a great way of re-educating. But to get them over that, get people over that mark. I mean, you can lead a horse to water.
Yeah.
As long as you do it compassionately. But you can. Come on, horsey, come on. We're just going down here. People have to make the connection in themselves.
And some people, like myself, for example, it can take a really long time, and other people can just make that connection straight away.
Yes.
But I think it all starts with just, little bit, like people trying a vegan meal and actually enjoying it. It will break down a lot of barriers to misconceptions that they might have about what veganism is and what vegan food is and is not. And
that's true. It's a good way, and because it's so available now, even in non-vegan places, vegan options are so available. I think there's more possibility of that happening, isn't there?
Oh, definitely. Definitely.
There's a comment there from Roach. Thank you to Heather for your amazing restaurant / delicious food. I'm with Kelly. She's with Kelly from Sugar Shine at the moment. The stuffed zucchinis are amazing. And thanks for your ongoing support of Sugar Shine.
Thanks. Thank you for the comments. And it's always our pleasure to support you guys.
It's a good feeling to know that what you're doing is helping the animals, it's helping the community, it's giving back. That is living the dream, isn't it?
Really is.
I'm sort of like almost touched thinking about it, that you had this dream, and what you've done, you've created is just fantastic. So
we're just so lucky that we've got such a great team, and everybody involved at the Beet is really passionate. Like most of our staff have been with us from when we started. And
it's obvious that the reason why is because it resonates from ourselves. So it resonates from you, that you had this vision, that you're authentic and you have your integrity, and you attract the right people.
We all like I was saying, like these guys have really helped me as well. Really getting over that last hurdle.
And I've got to say a lot of respect to them too for standing their ground and just pushing the importance of that.
Yeah, telling your boss she's wrong.
That's but no, but that's, I mean, but that's, no, that's, yeah, I don't admire it. I don't admire anyone that does. I tell my bosses that I'm wrong, that they're wrong, and now I tell them I'm wrong. I tell them that they're wrong quite often, but that's a whole different story.
Yeah.
But that's fantastic. But sometimes that's what we've got to do. We have to fight the good fight, and if it means even sort of respectfully saying to your boss, look, I really think that you should be doing it this way, or consider doing it this way, or whatever, you know. But also, to go back to what you were saying a minute ago, also, for a person, for the light to switch on for a person, for yourself or anyone else, there comes a time when it just all clicks, doesn't it?
Yeah, definitely.
And the deeper you look at that, from the research I've done, there's a psychology to it. There's a psychology where there reaches a point in our thinking where it just makes sense.
Yeah, definitely.
And there might be one little thing is the last thing that is the last piece of the puzzle that clicks for us. And you just go, this is right. I've been researching it so long. It's just resonated with me. I've been interested in it so long. Suddenly, all the pieces of the puzzle's complete. I see the picture, you know. And it's really interesting to see that psychology, because it has to work a certain way, and the person has to own. They have to own it, don't they? You had to own the decision to make it, so that it's cemented in you, so that you're strong with it.
Yeah.
If somebody else comes along, I mean, I know your staff said, you know, you've got to do this, but if someone comes along and points really hard at you and say, do this, you get your back up. You don't want to do it. You know, so we could go on for ages about this, but I did read something. It was really, it was sad, but it was a really interesting example of this, and it was the psychology behind it. And it was a lady that was it was a girl that was smoking, and her mum, well, I say girl, I mean a woman that was smoking, and her mum had told her to, you know, this is going to kill you, basically that the smoking is no good for you, you know, you should stop smoking. And the woman who'd been told that, the daughter, had actually said, I know it's going to kill me, I know it's bad for me, but I don't want anyone telling me what to do, so I'll keep doing it. And I just thought, there you go, there's the psychology. We don't want people telling us what to do. If she had made the decision, she knew it was wrong, she knew it was killing herself, but she needed to own the decision. She needed to go, okay, I decide to stop smoking, not you tell me to stop smoking. All right? So when we own it, that's when we live it.
Yeah,
so
totally.
That's Harry's psychology lesson. There's one more comment come up there before we wind up for tonight. But it's really interesting, because when we're talking to other people, pre-vegans, we need to keep this in the back of our mind, because we can inadvertently push people away if we don't allow them to own the awareness and you know, coming to them. So we don't want to push people away, but it can happen. So comment there from Adam. Thank you, Heather and Harry, for creating more peace, love and kindness in the world with your vegan work. I'm looking forward to next Tuesday night's talk at the Beet. So let's mention it again for those that missed out at the beginning. Adam Guthrie will be there Tuesday night, 5:30 p.m. New South Wales time, at the Beet Vegan Restaurant in Byron Bay, with 5 ways to optimize your health. So get on down there. If you go to the Beet's Instagram page.
Yes, and you can read a brief of Adam's story, which is absolutely amazing. And come down and check it out if you're in the Byron area.
Talking about stories, I believe a brief of my story will be on the Beet's.
Yes, it will. So tune in for that as well.
That will be on there as well at some stage, as if people don't know what it already is. So, was there anything else you'd like to add before we wind up for tonight?
Just thank you for having me.
Thank you for making the trip all the way.
Thank you so much.
From Byron. I mean, that's fantastic.
It's been a pleasure, and thank you to everyone who's come to the Beet and supported us. And
thank you for all your wonderful comments, because the Beet and yourself and the staff, everyone is obviously well loved.
It really makes our day, and you know, hospitality is a tough gig, and hearing the positive feedback
just makes you want to sort of continue on.
It makes us know we're doing the right thing, and thank you, everyone.
That's good. So I'll wind up by saying that the Vegan Hour gives an opportunity for people like Heather to come along and just, we get to talk to and interact with different vegans, and you know, if you're a vegan identity, if you want to be on the Vegan Hour, just shoot me a message and we'll discuss the possibilities. So this has been episode 2 for 2018 of the Vegan Hour. We're on fortnightly this year, And so in 2 weeks' time, for episode 3, I have vegan vlogger Dexter DeVoe, or however you pronounce his surname. So that'll be in 2 weeks' time, Tuesday, February the 13th. So thanks, guys, for watching. You can still ask questions even after the live stream's finished, and you will be able to see this on YouTube in a couple of days. So until next time, live vegan and save lives. And thanks for being on.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
We'll see you guys soon. Good night.
Bye.